Want to go to Congressman Carlos Jimenez right now, the Florida Republican, very influential player there, especially when it comes to these matters. You know, Congressman, I was looking into a lot of these Chinese details. What we're told, and you know far better than I, is that companies out of China like ZTE and Huawei, their workers are at some of these, suspected Chinese spy sites on Cuba. I don't know how we're affirming or confirming that, but that's a big worry. I'm just wondering if it's akin to what the Soviets were doing in the early 1960s on that same island.
Yeah, I think it was, and it is, and it's actually even more troublesome because the Chinese are going to have greater capabilities than the Russians. And so it's no secret that Cuba is our greatest adversary in this hemisphere. China is the greatest adversary that we have around the world. So them, joining forces in Cuba to establish bases there, spy bases, even military bases there, should not come as a surprise. It should be worrisome, but it shouldn't be a surprise.
I'm wondering as well, Congressman, what you make of the response we've had to this. It is alarming. Obviously it was terrifying back in 1962 when the Cuban Missile Crisis, sort of spilled over. The world was on the brink. This probably won't be quite the same thing, nor the same reaction. What do you think?
No, I don't think so. I think that, look, they're going to put military bases here, basically to poke us in the eye, keep tabs on our military. We have a lot of military installations around the state of Florida, the Gulf of Mexico. The Chinese have already established a big presence in our hemisphere. We have been asleep at the wheel and have allowed that. We need to refocus our efforts in our own hemisphere. We also need to refocus on what's happening in Cuba. Look, the people of Cuba want freedom. We haven't done anything to help them. We need to, the best way to combat the whole thing is through regime change in Cuba, through the people of Cuba actually making that happen.